Hi.
Hello, Aaron Fulk. How are you doing?
You want to see this funny thing I just found?
What? Where is it?
This was our first ever graphic for the show.
Oh, I loved it. Drinks with leaders.
Oh, are you gonna sing this song? You remember Devin and his buddy wrote it? You know
I
what that
sure
buddy
did.
does now? You know what that
What?
buddy does now? First of
He,
all,
he
that's the
he
buddy.
does he does jingles for McDonald's.
No, but that's the buddy that is now been with Joel Goldberg's daughter for like 4 years or 5 years for a long time. But he does all of the OU sports announcing.
You know what? I would
Gotta
just
start
tell
right
you,
here.
just like our guest today, we have an eye for talent. So
Yeah, we
we
do.
know we can always say we knew them when.
They knew us when.
They knew us well. Not to like cross reference here, but your business, Legal Growth Partners, that's been growing a lot. You got a really special guest that's lucky to be on the show with you.
My buddy Peter said he'd come on it on my new podcast on the Legal Growth Partner side, so that everybody else will say.
Yeah,
So nice.
he's a very kind person. And he's just buying sports teams, and he's hanging out with Aaron Folk. So he's hot, but not as hot as Bestway International and Avarti Construction because they're hot.
I'm not done with the Peter conversation. I
Okay,
also offered that, you know how we sit on Peter's nonprofit board, Casey Can.
Yes, ma'am.
I also told him I thought it would be a great idea. So this year, our theme for the auction gala, we call it an auction, and that's always a movie theme, is 90s movies. I don't know if it's been announced, but you heard it here first. I told Peter I would be willing, if he wants to call up Paul Rudd, I'd be willing to be Paul Rudd's date, and I could be Cher, and we could go from Clueless.
Oh, I think that's a really good idea.
Isn't that nice of me to offer that?
I think it's a good idea, but Clueless. Now, if we bring up Clueless, like one of our panelists, the Gen Z they may be like, "What's Clueless?"
Yeah, well, they're not invited to a 90s movie party then.
As if, that's right.
As if. Yes. So, do you want to do our sponsor conversation again? Now go.
So, just when you think tariffs weren't going anywhere, Bestway International can help you navigate it. So. Think of anything really hard to move, like moving all the glass to the SoFi Stadium, or Avarti Construction that just got done counting all its cash that it made over 2025 that they're about to turn around and donate to amazing organizations like the Down Syndrome Guild or Big Brothers Big Sisters. Hopefully they're relaxing, but the weather's so hot outside of really only like 2 weeks of winter. So Avarti Construction has been busy. So I'm hoping they get some much needed deserved rest.
Do you know there's a champagne room in SoFi Stadium?
There needs to be more. It's a champagne room is an amenity. It's like a gym in the basement no one uses, and no one does champagne rooms. And then the other thing they don't do, you remember Yo MTV Cribs?
Yeah.
I've always wanted to do one on mom's rooms, because if people were to celebrate mom's rooms at the offices and bars were to have champagne room for women, they would crush. People don't use it all the time, but they want it there if they need it.
I don't know where you're going with this, but the champagne room at SoFi Stadium, if you've never been there, you need to put it there on your bucket list.
There needs to be more champagne room.
There should be more champagne rooms. Have you ever been to the Homie Inn in Omaha?
I'm going to Omaha in like 2 weeks.
Okay, write it down, Scott. I'm not even playing.
Yeah.
But at Homie Inn, it is my favorite dive bar in the world, and it has champagne on tap. It's a dive bar. It's nasty. It's gross, and has champagne on tap.
Okay, I'm texting my wife. We're being super productive, these amazing guests are about to be on the show. But Homie
Inn, HOMEY, Homie Inn. All right, let's do the show.
Let's dance.
All right, so today we are going to play Scott's favorite song. When am I going to change this? It's been 5 years. Do you think I'll ever change it?
It's kind of cool. It's growing on you.
Not growing on me. Today we have two amazing guests. We're going to bring them in. We have Danielle and Cody. It's Scott's favorite song ever, guys. So let us know where you're watching us from. Let us know if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. Are you watching live or are you watching the replay? Our favorite buddy, Paul, that comments every single week.
Oh!
Scott's favorite person in the world, says he's watching from an igloo as it's still freezing out there. Did you see Brittany Mahomes make a home igloo over the weekend?
No.
She took those like lasagna pans And when it froze last week, we put water in every single one and built an igloo. Go look at her Instagram. It was pretty impressive.
Oh my
By
God.
herself with her kids. So she like time lapsed it. It was pretty impressive. Anyways, we are going to jump right in. Danielle, who are you? What do you do? And how do you get to Kansas City?
Hello, I'm Danielle Monty-Mara. Thanks for having me on the show. It's really fun to be with you today. Sadly, I do not create home igloos, but that's a new aspiration of mine, I will say. I'm a Kansas native. I grew up in a small town, Washington, Kansas, and then I went to KU, and then I studied abroad, and then I went off and joined the Peace Corps. And after Peace Corps really launched me on an international career. So I've spent the last 20 years living and working, more than 20 years living and working all across the continent of Africa, doing international development work. So I've been in leadership roles, leading complex development programs across communities, across countries in Africa. So you name it, from healthcare to education programs, humanitarian assistance, agriculture, infrastructure, all kinds of projects. So I'm back in Kansas City. I've been back in Kansas City for about 8 months, and I'm settling back in. It's amazing to be back home in Kansas City in the heartland. And I'm just really spending a lot of my time connecting with folks here and looking for the next right role for me here in KC. Looking for what comes next.
What were some of your most impactful places that you lived in while you were overseas?
Oh, I mean, it's hard to say. I would say I loved one of my favorite jobs that I've ever had was being a Peace Corps country director. So it's one thing to be a volunteer, but being a country director was a lot of fun because it was working really with all the local communities across the countries. I was doing that in Cameroon and also in Botswana. And it was so fun to really work at every level, from the national ministries all the way down to local communities, to build relationships, to train volunteers, to get them ready to go out to communities, and to really do a lot of mentoring and coaching of young Americans as they're like early career startups and kind of getting their first professional experiences. So that was a lot of fun. And then my most recent role was doing a massive infrastructure project, building irrigation in Lesotho.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a twist.
Yeah, I've run the gamut in terms of project development and project management.
I love that. I can't wait to learn more. Well, welcome back. Kansas City is just chill. There's not. I feel like you've had a way exciting life, so time to chill. Cody,
exciting.
who are you? What do you do? And how do you get to Kansas City?
My name's Cody. Thanks for having me on. I came to Kansas City when I was like 4. I was born in Chicago, came here when I was like 4. My mom was working for Sertoma, and that's what moved her here. Kind of a wild time. Been here ever since. Went to school up in Iowa, studied my degree is in cognitive behavioral neuroscience. I study human behavior and how trauma affects the mind, the brain, and the body. And then I run a mental health technology company and media company that focuses on helping women heal heartbreak and prepare them for modern dating using neuroscience. And then the type of trauma therapy I'm trained in, internal family systems. So I think we spend a lot of time focusing on helping people navigate that gap between heartbreak, divorce, breakups, and getting back into dating. I really believe most of the problems in modern dating today are like unhealed heartbreak problems. So attachment trauma, baggage, that kind of stuff. So that's what I spend a lot of time on.
A big part of the problem is just men.
No.
Just kidding.
I'm married, so I always know, but we're trying to have a little bit of fun.
I do want to ask a question. Yep. You're not qualified for this. This one's mine. I saw that when I was setting this up on your LinkedIn. So tell me why specifically you are qualified. I find this very interesting. You are qualified to be an expert in women's heart. Why women is your target market versus men?
Sure. When I started creating content around this, we have about 1 million followers. 12 million people see our content every week. And 93% of those are women. And so some of my first clients were women. And so I started to do work specifically with women. So at this point, I've had thousands of clinical hours working with women and the things that they're running into and that they face in the dating, heartbreak, trauma, attachment trauma space. And so after that much time, it's just hard to not see patterns and things like that. We also I get hundreds of DMs a day, thousands of comments a day, understanding these types of things. I might not have their lived experience, but I absolutely have experience listening to what they're struggling with and then helping them get the outcomes they're looking for in relation to dating and relationships and healing heartbreak.
Okay, I'm going to expand on this. So you said something like 93% were women. Do you find that means that there could be some sort of disconnect where men don't see that they need to be part of the solution?
Potentially, sure. I mean, I think that the way that society is structured, social media structures, and the environments that we put our brains in, we believe that most people are immature, like emotionally unavailable, insecurely attached, when in reality, like data doesn't suggest that. 60 to 70% of people are securely attached. The environments that we put our brains in and the expectations that creates for our brains creates our reality. So possibly, sure. 70% of social media users are also women. So men are not generally seeing as much of this as this stuff, which is tough. So yeah, I think there's a big gap in psychoeducation, neuroeducation for men, especially in relationships and relationship skills.
Cool. All right. Your turn, Scott.
God, we have great guests. This is an interesting show. So Danielle, what was the most pivotal point in your career? Feel free to do one or two.
I mean, I think I sort of tend to hope that I'm in the midst of one right now. Because coming back to Kansas City after having a really long career overseas and a career that I have loved every minute of, but I would say that, every place that I've ever gone for a position or for a job, I knew going in that I would leave one day. So even though it's always been incredibly meaningful work, and I've worked with phenomenal teams and I've loved people always ask me, what's your favorite country? I can't pick. I could list off every country that I've lived in. Yeah. I've lived in, Guinea, Chad, Burkina Faso, Zambia, Congo in Kinshasa, Cameroon, Botswana, Lesotho, and I'd be hard pressed to pick a favorite, to be honest. So as much as I've loved every single place, like I said, I've always known from the day I stepped off the plane that I would eventually leave. It was never my home. So I invested a lot. I put my heart and soul into it, and I've loved my career, but it hits different to be home. And even though I haven't found the exact role that I'm the right fit for me yet, I know that whatever I find here, I'm investing here, I'm investing home, I'm investing in Kansas City. And the place, I'm a homeowner here. I own in Western Auto Lofts. So I feel like that's part of a civic duty almost, is owning in this building. And it's fun because, my son also grew up overseas. He's 23 now. And this is, since we moved back, he went to the university in Europe. And so since we moved back, he's also living here for the first time. So that's something that's very new and very special and very important for me as well, to see him invest in a place and feel like this is a home for him, because he's also always kind of moved around and been, he also knew he wouldn't stay in a place. So as much as he and I can both really navigate the world pretty seamlessly and go anywhere, it feels different to be investing in a place that's your home. So I'm excited to see what I build here. And I'm still in that transition. And so what the pivotal moment will be, I think like I'm in a very pivotal transition, and I'm super excited to see where I'm going to land. There's a lot of great things going on in Kansas City.
Favorite 2 coffee shops?
In Kansas City. Oh my God. See, that's also, down in the crossroads. I live in obviously Western Auto. There's so many local coffee shops down here. So I love, if we start up a River Market, thou mayest, but obviously Café Corazon. And then the one, you just said the name of it earlier on 18th Street. Oh, shoot.
We'll
Across from the CrossFit is what she's talking about, Cody.
It's High Tides. There's High Tides and there's another one. There are 2 of them over there. Pitch Side is amazing. Messenger is amazing. There's too many. There's so many.
I know. I knew I threw your feeling. So, Cody, as you talk about your world, what was the most pivotal parts of your career?
Sure. So right out of college, I started at a place called Sandler Training, which is kind of like an organizational psychology company. Worked there for a few years under a mentor, Steve Montague, which was awesome. I networked with a lot of people and learned a lot. The pivotal moment there was leaving there and deciding to start my own company. Started CBA Neurotech, and a long chain of events eventually got to my first like really hardcore startup, which was CBA Intelligence, which was a AI company in the manufacturing space, which if that doesn't make sense to you, it didn't make sense to me either. But we ended up raising like $600,000 from angel investors, and we're trying to do the damn thing. But it just did not work. And that was one of the pivotal moments for me. Is we had to fire a bunch of people, had to like move out of WeWork and the office space that we got. And I think I was laying there. I remember laying in my apartment with like $11 in my bank account, multiple credit cards maxed out, and just total failure in relation to that company. And then Mind Brain Body Lab was born from that. What I currently do was born from that, and that moment of like, okay, what am I going to do next? And so that was a pivotal moment. And then more recently, last 2025 Q4, we were in a weird spot where we were doing half brand work and working with brands and like doing like influencer and creator marketing with them and running our own programs and stuff. And we were to the point where we were divided. Like our time was divided, our energy was divided, and it was really, really killing us. And we got to a point at the start of Q4, we're like, okay, do we want to go the brand route, be the agency thing and do that, or do focus on our own programs? And at the very start of Q4 2025, we were like, all right, we're going to go all in on our own programs. And at that point we could pay ourselves for 1 more month. And so if we didn't make it work in Q4, we would have failed. But we ended up launching a program that made us like $54,000 in like 60 days by betting on ourselves. And so it ended up working out. So that was a big one.
That would be a good one.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurship is so fun.
That's one word for it.
Yeah.
All right. So Danielle, how is your 2026 going? What are your goals, and how can the Kansas City community help you get there?
2026 is starting off great. I'm looking at it also 2026, but also with the year of the snake being almost over, and we're almost starting the year of the horse in the Chinese zodiac. I think that's also, for me, 2025 was pretty challenging working for US government and then having project canceled. So 2026, I'm looking forward to seeing kind of building something completely new and potentially unexpected, but really using all my skills and all my experience to build something new here. And I mean, right now I've been spending a lot of time building community and just getting to know a lot of folks and building relationships. And I'm just really interested in contributing to something here, to build something here in Kansas City and contributing really to something bigger than myself. So that's, to me, it's all about community. The work I've done has always been all about community. So like I said, investing here at home, it's amazing. I'm already doing that in some small ways. So, I've joined the board for the International Relations Council. They have phenomenal programming. They're really bringing the world and greater awareness of the world to Kansas City. And I'm teaching French at the Alliance Française.
Wow.
It's basically the French Alliance. I teach a couple of classes a week there and do some private tutoring for the time being. And so I'm just really, getting engaged in the community and like building connections, lots of conversations, lots of introductions. So what can Kansas City do for me? I think really just more introductions. And I feel like I've been met with open arms, and I'm so appreciative of that. It feels truly like the heartland. So more of that, please.
Wait, I need to know the number one thing you need to know how to say in French when you go to Paris, because I'm going to Paris for the first time this summer.
Oh, well, definitely learn how to say please and thank you.
Okay.
S'il vous plaît, merci.
I took some French back in high school. It's just been a minute. I am going to take my daughter to see Bruno Mars in Paris.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
So it's my 10-year business anniversary, and it's just all worked out. So anyways, yeah. So that's awesome that you're fluent in French. I love that. Do you know, you probably know this, but Scott and Cody, do you guys know that you cannot even register to become a France citizen if you're not fluent in French?
Wow.
I didn't know that. I did not know that.
Did not know that. That's
There's a level of test. I don't know if it's
they test
fluent,
you,
but you have to have some level of French.
You have to know it pretty well, because one of my girlfriends has been working on it, and so she's taking a lot of French. There's a whole market there for you, ma'am.
Well, there you go.
All right. Cody, how is your 2026 going? What are your goals, and how can the Kansas City community help you get there?
2026 is going pretty well. We were coming out of Q4 hot. So we're looking to run our Becoming Her program, which is the program that we have for women 3 or 4 more times throughout the year. We also have a Becoming Him program. So while we do work with women, we absolutely also work with men. So that's Becoming Him is a little bit structured, a little bit different than Becoming Her. We run it less often. And so it's 12 guys for 12 months. We're really working on, it's just hyper local. It's where we go break bread with each other. And it's a little bit structured, a little different than Becoming Her, but that group has been really, really fun to get to work with hands-on. And that's really what we're focused on. Our goal for the year, our word for the year as a company is authority. My counterpart is the female version of me. She works in the ADHD space with women. She's awesome. She wants to be an authority in that space. And I'm really looking to become more of an authority in mine as well. Things like this, more podcasts. I was asked to be a coach on a dating show. So there's all sorts of cool stuff that is coming up in 2026.
Don't do a reality dating show.
Dude, they're trying to get me to do it. We'll see what happens.
I'm telling you, from someone with experience doing a national reality dating show, do not do it.
I think Erin was like 19 years old when she did it. So
I was 22, 21, 22. I was young. I
Very-
didn't have my whole frontal lobe yet.
Right. Yeah.
When it comes back, always find you.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. The biggest thing for me is I have a lot of the times you have to give up brand rights and like perpetual like rights to your content and stuff like that, which I would never do. So that might be a challenge, but that's really the focus for 2026. The way people can help us, if there are people that, especially women who feel like they are somewhat healed, they're not broken anymore, they're not crying on the bathroom floor, but they also know they're not really free and ready to date again, I would love to connect with them. They can follow me on anywhere, any social media at mindbrainbodylab.com or mindbrainbodylab on any social media, and love to get you in the ecosystem and see if we could potentially help you.
And also the men that cause the tears.
For sure. Men as well. We will, I'm looking at potentially creating a new account or a separate account called Becoming Him that's focused specifically on men. Because a lot of the content I create, men reach out and like, dude, I struggle with that too. Like, does this work for guys? I was like, well, do you have a brain? Yes. We all have brains. And so my background is cognitive neuroscience. Like brains are pretty similar. They're different in some ways, but they're pretty similar. So yeah, it does work for men.
Let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Are you currently in a relationship?
I'm not in a relationship, no.
What is your longest relationship ever?
4 years.
And what would that ex say about you?
Probably that I was emotionally grounded, ambitious, and probably distracted by my work.
I always find it interesting when people are relationship coaching and they're not in a relationship.
I don't view myself as a relationship coach. I view myself as helping people heal heartbreak.
Right.
It could be different things, Aaron. I always think of myself as
questions.
I think of myself as the guy in the Geico commercials, just like tries to give people advice on how to make their fire, or like calls out their name at Starbucks, or like, Danielle, this is you, right? Are you Danielle?
You should have Scott teach your Becoming Him classes. He's the best father and husband out there.
I paid her a lot to say that, so it's very nice for the there
Ryan
you go.
says, rock chalk Scott.
That's right. And Ryan, I'm about to coach Little League. I coached Ryan when he was in Little League, and then my wife, who trained me, told me that we needed to be married. And I was like, what are you talking about? I can't coach the Little League on the weekends. And then I realized you got to be married. So
Ryan looks young enough that you maybe coached him. Yeah, for sure.
I did coach him for 4 years, a left-handed pitcher.
Thanks for tuning in, Ryan. Thank you so much, Danielle. And thank you so much, Cody, for coming on and answering all our hard-hitting questions.
Yeah, Aaron's doing hard.
You can connect with Danielle and Cody on LinkedIn. We will be back same time, same place next week. See you soon.
Thank you.